I have watched him through middle school plays, high school plays, North Shore, the Sound of Music tour, the Fulton EPAC, off-Broadway, on-Broadway, Central Park. We have followed his career, and then here he is. Isn't that amazing? It has been exhilarating for me to watch this rise, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. So now is his chance to answer your questions.
What was it like working with Ang Lee?
Our very first meeting, he plopped down a huge 3-ring binder of research and gave me 15 movies to watch and 5 CDs of music to listen to, and so from the minute I met him, like, we started working right away. He's incredibly soft-spoken, he's really specific, he's very generous, and I ended up feeling really safe working with him because you know that you're working with a master, and so for someone who'd never done a movie before, I could sort of sit back and just sort of be a puppet for him and just say yes to everything he asked me to do, and that put me at ease, so it was great.
All right. John, I'd like to know how your preparation, that spoke to that quite eloquently, but how does your preparation for a film differ from your preparation for movies, getting ready for your Broadway and other theatrical roles? Is that more self-directed?
Yeah, with theater, there's less money and stuff, so you sort of have to create. You have to create your own 3-ring binder. I sort of thought when Ang gave that thing to me, I was like, wow, this is how it is in the movies. He had someone do all this research for you, and then they collect it for you and give it to you in a little nice package. But in the theater, you sort of do it on your own, and you research in the library or go on the internet. Or I just did a Greek tragedy this summer at Central Park, and my mom and I took a trip to Greece that the public theater certainly didn't pay for, but I just did it. And so that's sort of the great thing about being an actor is with every project, at least for me so far, I've been in a different time period, in a total different set of challenges, and part of the joy of each new experience is getting to learn about whatever you're working on. So with this, obviously, I learned a lot about the late 60s and the music and the people and the concert. And so it's, and with, a play I did in the spring, I learned about psychotherapy, and a play I did in the fall, I learned about the war in Iraq. And so it's so great because rarely in any other profession do you get to sort of experience and learn about something new every time you start work. So it's part of the joy. I love the research.
How do you compare a play on Broadway to being in a movie? Or how do you feel about the difference?
It's interesting because growing up here, I with the middle school play, and then I did my high school theater, and I worked a lot at the Ephrata Playhouse in the park and the Fulton Opera House. And so theater, when I moved to New York, felt like something I could do, felt like something that was attainable because I'd done so much of it. And film felt very distant and mythical and far away, and that's, I feel like, what you go to Los Angeles for or whatever. And so when I moved to New York, I had no intention of ever being in a movie, ever. I'd never dreamt that, I never dreamt that big before. And so the actual doing of it is really interesting because, when I do a play on Broadway, or when I, did Spring Awakening, I thought, oh, this is great. It's such a great show, but it's kind of like doing my middle school play. I'm used to this. I know what this feels like. I know what this is. And film is just completely and totally different. I've been comparing it. The way that I'm trying to describe it to people lately is it's like long distance and short distance running. In that, in the theater, it's like long distance because you do 8 shows a week and you have to pace yourself and know what you can do in one night. And so you can sustain it through a long run for a year or a year and a half or whatever. And in film, you show up on the day, having probably never rehearsed anything before, and suddenly you're in a wig and a vest, or you're on a horse or whatever, and you have to do it in that one day, and you can't. That's it. You have one day. Lots of money and people are sort of riding on you in that one moment, and so it's like a sprint. It's very intense. It's very focused, and then you never do that scene ever again. the scene at the end where I ride away on the horse, it was the last shot of the day, was the shot where they put the cameras up at the top of the hill, and I had to ride up the horse. My dad was actually there that day, because I thought he trains and races horses, so I thought he'd want to be there on the day I was on the horse. And the sun, it was cloudy all day long. It was cloudy all day long. We did the scene where I, said it's beautiful, the Rolling Stones or whatever. We did all those close-ups. And then at the end of the day, the final shot was me riding up the hill. And I had taken horseback riding lessons for 2 weeks, so I felt sort of comfortable, but, not that comfortable. And we got to the moment to do that thing, and suddenly the sun was setting, because it was the end of the day. Even though it was supposed to be sunrise, it was sunset. And the sun came out of the clouds, just all of a sudden the sun would drop from the sky and come out of the clouds. And they were like, "This is it. We have to get the shot now." We had 5 minutes to get the moment where the final scene in the movie, to get that thing. And I was on top of this horse, completely freaking out. And then the horse started spinning around in circles, and I had to it was horrifying. But I ended up getting the horse still and riding up the hill like that. But there's moments like that in film that are not like that in theater at all, because it's completely uncharted territory, and it has to be done fast. It's a miracle that I think movies even get made.
On stage, musical, and dramatic acting, and screen, television.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's sort of my sort of. I've been really lucky, because every project that I've done for the past 4 years, that I've been in New York, 5 years now that I've been in New York, it's been a project that I've really cared about. And that just sort of happened by accident, because when I first moved to New York, I just wanted to be employed. And so I didn't care what I was doing, I just wanted to have a job. And as time has gone along, it just so happens that everything that I've gotten the opportunity to be able to do has been something that I've felt really passionate about, and something that's helped me grow with a director that I've admired, or a writer that I've really respected. And so at this point, ideally I'd like to go back and forth from film, TV, theater, and sort of do it all. But the sort of rule is, for me now, going to the next job, is just a project that I believe in, and with a cast and a director that hopefully will push me and make me better, is sort of just the next thing, because I just want to keep getting better. That's all.
Tomorrow morning.